Can Zach Edey have a good NBA career? You know, that's what's interesting about Zach Edey is that he dominated in the NCAA tournament.
2-time National Player of the Year. And
yeah,
I mean, I've seen some draft boards, and Danny and Dusty were talking about this today. And
he's moved up.
yeah, which I'm always fascinated. Like, you're taking six games make the difference and like proves that you can play. What about the 2 years that you were dominant in college basketball? But yeah, I mean, I've seen him in the first round. It used to be like second round and then late first, and now I've seen like number 20-ish.
Yeah, they're saying mid to late first, maybe.
Yeah.
And the problem with him is like, dude, I'm the worst guy to ask when it comes to how a guy will do on the next level. So I have no expertise in this whatsoever. But I do have opinions.
Yes.
And I don't see like I think he's interesting because he's so big and strong.
Sure.
And skilled for how big and strong he is.
Yeah.
But I think, to me, again, just one dumb guy's opinion, I think he came along at the exact wrong time.
Yeah.
Because today's NBA is about spacing and moving and quickness in the pick and roll, and they're not you can't hide him. Like
I mean, you saw it last night. There were a couple times that UConn ran him in the pick and roll, and he just got, I mean, it was like 2 in a row where their backup center, who was like 6'8" or whatever, just dunked on him. That like, and he's shown better speed and quickness, but he still is a lumbering player. I don't know how he guards anyone. I really don't.
Well, right. That's what I'm saying. Like
Yeah.
big men in the NBA today get pulled all over the floor.
Yeah.
You can't just sit down there and block shots.
Yeah.
It just, I mean, part of me is,
And your big has to be able to stretch the floor too. He's got to be able to stand out and knock down a three usually now.
part of me is interested in if the league will ever go back the other way and sort of find guys like this that are so different from what is happening in the league that it's actually a strength, right?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that ends up happening, like, because games they evolve and they ebb and flow back and forth, and maybe the old school big man like Zach Edey will return at some point, but I can't. It's hard to wrap your head around how this could be that moment. Because as good and as big and strong and skilled as he is not fast.
No.
And so the guys guarding him, while he is big and strong, so are they, but they're just infinitely faster. So there's really no, like, you could say, well, wow, what an advantage he'll be down on the block. Will he?
And also too, is there an NBA?
I mean, defensively, yes.
Is there an NBA team that is willing to feed him? I mean,
yeah, you'd have to really commit.
Yes.
To making that your
to making it part of your offensive scheme where you are just going to put him on the block, because it's true. There are guys in the NBA that are going to struggle with him. I mean, Klingon, the who's a lottery pick supposedly for UConn, he struggled with him last night, but I don't know. I just, heavy-footed, slow people in the NBA, just, to me, like, that doesn't work anymore. Like, I'm trying to think of the last kind of lumbering, and look, let's call it what it is.
Probably Yao Ming.
He is a lumbering guy.
You know who, at least for me, it was Andrew Bogut, and they had to pull him out of the starting lineup in the NBA Finals against the Cavs because he was costing him too much on the defensive end. He was the big screen setter for Curry and Thompson, and they're like, we can't win with this guy out here. He was big, lumbering. That's what it is for me.
Those guys, and Hassan Whiteside was the same, and he's athletic.
Yes.
Those guys they get benched. You cannot have them out there.
Yeah.
So I don't know how Zach Edey would change that. I am interested in the idea that maybe the game changes and somebody comes along that can change that, but I don't know how.
Yeah, his comp, they're saying, is a bigger Zubac or a plus size Montrose. Like, I don't think either one of those is Eric Montrose. I don't think either one of those. Who's the and he's a backup. He plays. I think he plays. Who was the kid from Iowa? Just a couple years ago.
I know the guy you're talking about.
They had a big lumbering white guy.
Oh.
Is it Matt?
I picture him.
I do, yeah.
He wasn't nearly as skilled as this guy, though.
No, but it wasn't Matt. It was Lou. Is it Garza?
Luke Garza.
Luke Garza?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's right.
Same sort of thing. And
That's right.
And he's in the NBA, But I mean, he was a dominant.
What's he doing in the NBA?
He's averaging for Minnesota. He's averaging 3 points a night. So, like, and I know Edey is better than that, and Edey will play in the NBA. I can't see a world in which he is a significant factor.
Does he have any mid-range?
I don't know. I mean, I
haven't watched him enough to know.
It doesn't. I mean, he airballed a free throw last night. So
Danny was saying, like, in his workouts, that is going to be his thing. Is he is going to desperately try to prove that he can have a mid-range game.
Yeah,
but
he's gonna have to.
You know, you just watch him, and he doesn't move like an NBA player, in my opinion. When you watch him,
right.
He looks big, stiff, and slow.
Yeah, like I'm sure there's a lot of people are thinking this. Somebody texted us on the Vancouver Ford text line. What was Jokic like when he first came into the league?
Well, come on, stop that.
Well, he was drafted 42nd. He wasn't a first-round pick that people are thinking Edey now will be.
I think there's probably a lot of people that think that, and if you don't watch enough, dude, the difference between
dancing bear,
the difference between Jokic and how he moves.
Yeah.
And how Edey moves
and sees the floor
night and day. And yeah, and passes and and shoots, like it's not even a comparison. And he's asking when he first came into the league, I don't know, but again, way more athletic than Edey.
The bottom line is Joker, whether before or now, has the ability to take the ball and lead a break. I promise you, under no circumstances, now 5 years from now, will Zach Edey ever get the ball in the open court and start bringing it up. It's just not going to happen. Again, if you could play him in situational spots, like a second unit, and you want to slow things down and dump the ball, and he can score in the NBA, I have no doubt about that. I don't think he can guard anyone, and his game is just not going to be conducive. Like, they will run him off the floor.
Your question about who is the last guy like archetype like this?
Yeah.
I mean, there really isn't one. Like, I think Bogut was way more skilled and way.
He was a good passer, but he did not have a mid-range game. He could not step out and stretch the floor. That's the only reason.
But he still could move better than this kid.
Yes. Edey's game is block.
I mean, you have to move. They're going to pull you all over the court. You have to be able to at least move in space and the pick and roll.
And you even watch old Kling Kong there for UConn, who again offensively is really, really limited, but he can move a little bit. Edey just looks like he's got cement in his shoes at times, and his offensive game is get the ball down low, body you, and then he's got that little hook shot he turns with, and then if he gets near the rim, it's an automatic finish. But again, you're not going to be able to do that against NBA players nearly as often. But I just feel like at times when in the NBA game, when you're playing you imagine when Golden State plays him and you run small ball,
put him in the pick and roll.
Oh my God! Well, just run it up and down the floor in the transition game.
Well,
he's going to have to just be like, you know what? I'll wait down here, guys, and I'll catch you on the back end.
Well, that's where I think he's mildly interesting for what you just said, and it's the opposite of what you just said, which is if you commit to him, like if you draft him or a player like him, and you commit to it, and your whole team is built around it, you have to slow
everything down,
every possession down.
Yeah.
If you do that, you got a little something because Golden State has to go bigger.
Yeah.
But why Golden State is so good, part of why Golden State is so good is they're just going to get their pace going.
Yeah.
And if they do that, he's dead.
Yeah, he's dead.
And you're dead.
Yeah.
But if that's the whole thing about him, is why he's kind of interesting, Edey, is that you can build an offense around that, and it would be interesting to see teams what they would do to try to guard it. But my God, to slow it down you have to be in the half court every possession.
Yeah.
And I just don't know you can do that in today's NBA.
And in today's NBA, there are going to be guys that can guard him one-on-one. UConn was doing that last night to some effect. And even if you run guys at him, like, again, UConn was doing at times when Klingon was off the floor, he's not a passer that's really going to absolutely kill you like some of the great passing bigs. His skill set just has to be, it would have to expand by leaps and bounds.
Somebody said on the Vancouver Ford text line, and I wasn't aware of this, but it would add up. It said Edey started playing when he was 16 years old, and it shows. He plays like he's been told what to do, and like he doesn't have a ton of natural knowledge. I buy that.
Yeah. Didn't Myers Leonard say that?
I don't know.
Well, I don't think he said that. I think one of the criticisms of Myers Leonard was he didn't have a high basketball IQ.
Yeah.
He was a big guy who played basketball but didn't really understand the game.
I think he was a late bloomer too. I think he was one of those guys that grew a bunch and then all of a sudden was like, "Oh, I'll give this basketball thing a shot." And again, you can learn to play the game. I'm not certain if you can learn to be a natural athlete. And the one thing you watch today's NBA is it's athletes. It's just
all of them freaks.
It's just oozing athletic freaks.
Yeah, the worst guys on the court can't shoot a lick.
Yeah.
But man, are they freaks athletically.
Yep. And he is
and they use him. They use him. Yeah. So, oh well.
I think he's going to be one of the more interesting projects.
Well, as somebody said on the Vancouver Vortex line, you can make a very nice living as an NBA journeyman backup center.
Yes.
And you certainly can, and that's probably what he's going to be.
I hope so. Either that or, look, there's a real chance, too, in 2 years he's playing overseas. We'll see.
And somebody bringing up Embiid again.
Oh, God. Please don't do that.
You got to watch these guys. Dude, Embiid is...
so...
He is a crazy combination of skill, size, and athleticism.
Well, yeah, his agility compared to Edey, we're not even or this is apples and oranges.
And he can shoot.
He is so skilled.
Dude, I just...
We do a disservice to some of these bigs when we compare them.
Jokic and Embiid specifically. They are, and Wemby is now in this category, and Anthony Davis came along first, but those guys, the basketball, they've changed. That type of guy has changed basketball.
Yes.
We've never seen anything like what they're producing now with these guys.
No.
And Zach Edey is not one of those.
No, because when you're young now, even when you're tall, they don't put you in the post and just sit there and they all even a guy like Karl Anthony Towns that isn't the athlete that Embiid and those guys. What does he do now? He steps out, he handles the ball, and he shoots the three. There's just
is he a crappy Gobert? No.
Gobert is he is a very limited offensive skill set guy, but again, athletic defensive.
He runs the floor like a gazelle.
Yes. Yeah. He's all over the place.
Edey runs it more like a
what?
I don't know, like
tractor trailer. Remember that guy? Well, he was athletic.
I don't know what what animal, like is some sort of giant prehistoric land sloth. It's not,
or even maybe like a giraffe. It's like, it can get moving, but I don't
imagine
know.
him running a 40. I'm guessing that takes a while to start and stop, but he had a hell of a college career, and it sucks that he wasn't able to capitalize on it because of the NIL thing being for Canada.